Jan Ingenhousz was a successful physician who inoculated the Austrian royal family against smallpox. But his interest in science led him to the discovery that photosynthesis occurs in the leaves of plants by the action of light. He was born in 1730 in Breda in the southern Netherlands and later studied medicine at nearby Louvain, before continuing his studies at Leiden near The Hague, and then at Edinburgh at the same time as Joseph Bulach was there, completing his seminal work on carbon dioxide. After practicing medicine back at Breda for the best part of a decade, he received an inheritance which allowed him to travel to England. Here he met up with Sir John Pringle, an old acquaintance from his student days, and he made new acquaintances, including scientists Joseph Priestley, Benjamin Franklin, and William Watson, the latter two of which had independently suggested in 1746 that the two known types of electric charge were actually positive and negative quantities of a single fluid. Ingenhousz would later carry out his own experiments on electricity. However, from Watson he also learned and began to practice a method of smallpox inoculation in which superficial scratches on the skin were infected. Eventually he became well known as an inoculator, and in 1768 he was recommended to Empress Maria Teresa and her family at Vienna. Ingenhousz would also follow the career of Priestley, who in 1771 showed that plants can improve air in which a candle had burnt out so that another candle could burn well. And 4 years after this development, Lavoisier had shown that a single component of the air, that he would later call oxygen, was responsible for the processes of respiration and combustion. But it remained a mystery how plants could release this active component of the air. However, in 1779, then at a country house in Savile Green near London, Ingenhousz carried out experiments on plants underwater that showed that it was only the leaves of plants that could release oxygen, and that they only did it in the presence of light. He further observed that a detrimental gas could be released from the leaves at night, and he suggested that a process might be going on similar to respiration. He further noted that the harmful gas released at night, which is now known to be carbon dioxide, was released in much smaller amount than the oxygen which was released during the day. Over the next decade, Ingenhousz would divide his time between Vienna and England, but in 1789 he moved permanently to Calne in southwest England. There he spent his remaining years in a house not far from where Priestley had lived, and he even used the facilities at nearby Wouterhagens, where Priestley had made his discoveries concerning oxygen. Thank you so much for listening to the very end, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.